So when we're talking to our clients about going to market with the launch and the PR strategy, we use two analogies. One is the idea of a baseball stadium, the other is the idea of a wedding cake. From the baseball stadium, what we're talking about is they're so focused on their individual product or underlying technology that it's hard for them to get back to the bigger picture that got them funded in the first place. And to do that, what we do is we just give them the idea of, let's just take a baseball field and say, okay, what you want to be able to do is tell people, if you were bringing baseball to a town for the first time and you were a startup, there's no way that you're going to be able to staff a 25-person team. Every team starts strong up the middle, catcher, pitcher, middle infield, center field, etc. The key is for those guys to be able to articulate what they've got, but then make sure that the people who follow them, the analysts and the influencers, the ones who are in it for the long term, understand that they know that they've got to get a third baseman and a first baseman over time, and that they know what they're looking for, particularly in these particular positions. Now, that's the big picture, the idea that we know we need to start this way, but we're going to go this way over time, and in a result, this is the reason that you should be following us, and if you're a client, it's the reason you should be investing in us and staying with us real term. When we bring that down to the wedding cake analogy, it's the idea that when you go out and explain to people what you've got, start here with your architecture. Explain it to them, layer on top of it your methodology, okay? In some cases you can reverse this. If your methodology is truly that unique, then start with that and the resulting architecture. But really spend some time on the foundation of what it is, the catcher and the pitcher, to use the baseball analogy. Build on top of that, whether you're a fan of McDonald's or not, the idea of secret sauce. What is it that makes the methodology unique, and it's a barrier to entry for other players coming into the market, and it's the special reason to buy, because you're never going to be able to find this in any other place. And then here's the key, just as we were talking about the pitcher and the catcher or the middle infielders, you start with the products that you're going to be announcing. It might be one, it might be two, built on this. And everyone focuses on this from a press standpoint and from a individual buyer standpoint, because it's what you have to sell today. But just as important, when we were talking about bringing in the third baseman, the first baseman, the relief corps, etc., is to talk to them about everything that's going to come without giving specifics. So what you get is, instead of an individual product that could have the shelf life or interest-wise from the press of maybe 2 or 3 weeks, you have an entire entity here that the analysts and the influencers are going to be following for years, and that your customers and your prospects are going to have a reason to A, buy right away, and then B, align themselves with and invest in long term.